What's up, everybody? Blaze here with Embermoon and Rich Campbell.
Yep, and we host the best party in esports, Bud Light's Twitch Rivals After Party.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Crusaders of the Lost Idols weekly live stream for Thursday, September 17th, coming to you live from the foggy, beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, and the Codename Entertainment streaming studio. I am Erika, the live services manager for Crusaders of the Lost Idols and the community manager for Codename, and with me is the lead artist on Crusaders, Kat.
Hello.
So we'll be going over your poolside bar coloring sheets this week, and then getting into the questions and the sketching.
Yeah. So, this was a more complicated one, so there weren't as many submissions, but as always, I appreciate those who do, and it's fun to take a look at them. This must be Bunko Bunces, because here's a little Squiggles hint chilling out on the chair over there. And Bernard looks very unimpressed now. This is sort of like, I can't place it, but it makes me think of sort of like neon signs and like the 80s, I guess.
Like a Miami Vice promo poster or something?
Yeah, that's probably it. Oh, and here's a nice pencil crayon one with a cool like tile design, which actually I was hoping more people would do, because it would take too long to do that in the lines, but it looks, pretty plain otherwise. So I super appreciate that one.
And different color coins in the tip jar.
Yep. And extra, like the vein or whatever in the leaves, and semi-transparent water, or it's not water, it's yellow. I hope that's not water.
Lemonade? The pool had water, though.
Here's another pretty, like, psychedelic one that's pretty fun. It's just everything is different colors. Could almost see it as like a black velvet painting or something.
Mm-hmm.
This one's a little small. Gave Bernard a more colorful outfit while keeping pretty consistent coloring.
Oh, I like Bubba's foot. It's a different color because it's underwater.
Mm-hmm. It's a good touch. This one has some thicker lines and
the creepy eyes.
Kind of scary eyes. I appreciate his red finger and toenails, though. That's fun.
Yeah.
And pink albino Bernard. Like, I must have had a duplicate. I like this one has like a filter over it that everything's a little like hazy. It's
a nice humid tropical day.
Yeah, it adds to it. I like it. Yeah. Oops. Oh yeah. I had this sitting in the main folder for a while and realized that I am just always gonna forget to show it unless I put it somewhere else. So this was from a little while ago, but never ended up getting shown. An older one,
Mm-hmm.
Breadcrumbs. Pretty sure this was Zodi, because it's that going over the lines with semi-transparent stuff. Yeah, it's nice to see an old one. And here's an AI colored poolside bar with nice, like, pastel colors, very sort of subtle.
Mm-hmm.
And a very pink one. There's something about this scene that attracts those like Miami Vice colors, I guess. But I think it works.
Yeah.
And some pale yellows and more pink in the background. Looking good. blonde Bernard is a little weird in a good way. You know, it's just interesting to see different takes. Oh yeah.
Oh, right, this one.
Yeah. Well, everyone is unhappy. Poor Artaxis. I do like the belt loincloth situation.
That's
and
a unique swimsuit for sure.
Yeah. The blood dripping, sitting in the background. I appreciate the effort. I mean, oh, and there's a tiny squiggles in the window. Right there.
Oh.
Always watching. And back to normal. Yeah. More subdued sort of colors with the browns and another AI one. Very green and blue. Yeah. The leaves made sense for once.
Yeah.
And here was another older one that I kept forgetting to show off. That had some very cool rendering on Imani's face. I think it looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
And some shading and shine and stuff. Yeah, it's great. And yeah, like the red hair and green eyes, they stand out and go together well. Lots of multicolored bottles. I appreciate the effort to color the little drips as well.
Yeah.
And yeah. Oh yes, and then this really fantastic Koivu that I'm a big fan of. Most of it being like painted over. Yeah, it just looks really good.
Yeah, that one was really impressive.
Yeah. And that is the last one. So, thank you everybody for submitting and participating. And I'm gonna be sketching as usual. Feel free to ask Erika all your questions. I'm here too if you have an art question.
Yeah, you can.
Just say it.
So we got some regulars in chat. We've got Kedgear and Ragnar and JS Random Numbers and Cassius and Lexi Ree and Flyby Moon and Belcac and Cisco and Hardball UK. And we got some questions piling up.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Croc360 saying hello all and farewell to the dungeons for now. Yeah, the dungeon break just started like 9 minutes ago. So, but you can still finish if you're on a dungeon objective and get all the rewards from finishing like normal. And now you can also choose when you want to claim your final batch of rewards if you haven't already claimed them, just in case you wanted to save them for when the next season starts or for a more opportune time. And Thraxi is asking, when is the next event? So the next event will be the first in our series of Tier 6 events, and it'll be the Carnival of Sorrows, and that starts on October 1st. So that's in 2 weeks for that event. Meow says, thank you for the code. You're quite welcome. Hardball UK says, thank you very much for the chests. Hope you're all keeping well and safe.
Not too bad.
Not
it's
too
very
bad.
smoky over here, but we had a lot of rain, or at least enough rain last night, so it's seems to be getting better.
Possibly helping? We're not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It makes me feel better.
True, yeah, the rain does make us feel better. And we're hoping you're safe as well, Hardball UK.
Mm-hmm.
Vingummy, hello. Hello. What's the plan for Bruno? Any early thoughts? He will be capped now that everyone has had a chance to use him in the dungeons. So sometime early next week, he will be capped around the low thousands of ability casts. Ted 3959, the dungeons are gone. Was great fun though. They're gone for now. They will be back with season 2 when we're ready for season 2 to launch. Billcac 210, hello Erika and Kat. Hope you are having a good day.
Not too bad. Hope you're having a good one yourself.
It's going well so far. Anything else you can tease about the Tier 6 Crusader beside the animal tag? Also send my regards to Kevin. We will pass that along to Kevin. Well, we will tease that you will see the sketch on stream next week, right?
Yep.
That would be the plan, if we're following our normal stream cadence. But animal is enough for now. You've got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Ignis Umbrae is the new Tier 6 Crusader Giga Squiggles, and if not, why not?
Because that was not on my mind.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy you enjoyed my idea for the Crusader. It was just like, I woke
Yeah,
up
I
and
liked it.
I had that idea, and I was like, oh. And I like your twist on it. I mean, the first thought was okay, but then I was like, oh, it's going to be another Biff, and then it's like, nah, we can do better than Biff.
Yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. I was especially happy with the head. I like talking in circles around it, make everybody guess.
Yeah, so I'm gonna skip the next question and just say hello again to Kedgear. Green Samurai 23, how come 2 weeks between events this time? Because where Halloween fell, and where Thanksgiving fell, and where Christmas fell, and because this is the first Tier 6 event, we just wanted some extra time. But yeah, this is where Carnival of Sorrows ended up, 2 weeks away. So yeah, there's some gaps in the event schedule, but not enough to fit in another whole new event. Huff Diddy, any chance a Tier 4 11th objective will give % idle gain on free plays instead of using bonus boss idols for us endgame players? No, free plays would not give % idle gain. There's the missions for those, though, still, while the dungeons are off. Daykey, any recommendations on reference material for shading around shapes? One of my biggest stumbling blocks for art next to hands and color.
Oh, I don't have any specific suggestion, but that's usually a pretty early lesson that you can find in like really basic tutorials, you know, starting with a sphere, a cone, and sometimes a cube. And then you decide where your light is coming from over here. And you do the shading. You know, you can do an entire stream around how to shade things, but basically I would look for a tutorial like this where it focuses on the shapes first and where the light comes from and how it casts on the objects and on like the surface that it's on and things like that. Yeah. Unfortunately, like that's something that you can really go into and talk about a lot, but as a very quick little demonstration, that's what I got. Shading is hard though. You know, don't be discouraged. Just practice. Look at life, especially with really harsh shadows, really bright lights close to objects. Yeah, I think that's about the best advice I can give at this time.
Flyby Moon, it's going to be my first time doing Carnival of Sorrows. We'll need so many time warps.
Well, good luck.
Good luck. Newbie Dooby Doo. Hey Kat, magical anime girl crusader when?
You know, maybe. It's, you know, you wouldn't think it's my brand, but I am actually a pretty big fan of Sailor Moon. So, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see, yeah. Could fit. Ignis Umbrae doesn't only take a few thousand to max Bruno with the crazy formation, though. Sounds like it'll be just as broken as before. I mean, maybe. We'll definitely be running the numbers to not let you guys cap, even with a huge propagation chain. Lexi Ree, can you tease the ruby usage? Not feeling comfortable teasing that yet. Just keep hoarding your rubies. Zodi, hello all, and Erika, any amount of rubies we should be aiming to save, as many as you can, although we will take into account that most players have a stash of 40 to 70,000 on hand, so that may affect our pricing, but we do want to be fair for the newer players who don't have a ruby stash anymore. Foyer, please, how about a Squiggles skin for Pete? As we were mentioning on last week's stream, the Carnival Crusader most likely getting the skin will be Shishimi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. GSR, and for what will rubies be used in the dungeon? Because the Season 2 dungeon rewards will be giving out pieces of the new system to encourage you to actually complete the season. That's why they're tied together. We wanted to make the season pass a little better, so new system that gives out so the dungeon will give out pieces of the new system to help you get started if you can complete the levels. Twitch Pal player, thank you for the chest. You're welcome. 25 Hertz, that was a pretty succinct shading demo. What kind of sketchpad does Kat use, or is it a touch-sensitive screen monitor laid flat?
The second one, kind of. Basically, I'm looking at my monitor. Yeah, it's this thing, which is a not Wacom brand Cintiq, but you know, it's hard to just say tablet now because that means like 3 different types of object. And I've got this pen, stylus. There we go. That I draw on the thing with. Yeah.
Yeah, the Wacom tablets are pretty cool for all the artists' workstations in the office. It's impressive.
Yeah, they're real good. Though, as I've talked about on stream at least once before, mine is a Monoprice brand, which is much cheaper, and having used, you know, official Wacom brand in the office and then this at home, there's not a lot of difference, honestly. I find this is perfectly good for my needs. Like, the biggest difference is that the pen has to be charged, but only like once every 3 to 6 months. And there's no shortcut buttons on the sides of the tablet itself, but I use keyboard shortcuts. So
Cool. Rusty Knight, hiya Kat and Erika, would a 9th ability ever be in the cards? So like that would be a 9th active ability to go along with Clickorama and Goldorama and Stormrider? 25 Hertz, wow, 40 to 70k rubies. I haven't even come across 40k in total so far. Yeah, no, some players have been hoarding for a while. That's just how veterans work in a 5-year-old game. Xlade, hi Erika, can you tell us anything about what to look forward to in Season 2 of the Dungeons? The next days, weeks are going to feel very weird without having to do anything at all of a sudden. Well, you can always sprint for materials. I hear those legendaries get a little expensive as you level them up. I know that's not the funnest thing. But yeah, so the Season 2 rewards will have pieces of the new system to get you guys started on that, along with the skins. A skin with a tag change on the free path, and a cosmetic-only skin in the paid path, but it'll be a pretty banging cosmetic skin. But yeah, and then you can go back to your idle farming, obviously, when Season 2 drops. Green Samurai 23. Tough question, sorry. Idle Champs is cutting out access to Year 1 event champs, saying it overwhelms players to have more than 3 per event, with Tier 6 Crusaders has 8 per event, any chance of changing things a bit so as not to overwhelm newer Crusaders players. So many objectives, and players can get to tier 6 in like 2 months now if they try hard, so it is an issue. We will not be changing how Crusaders events work. We only ever expect new players to get 2 or 3 tiers of an event done, so if they can push through all 6, that's impressive. The tier 6 objectives will require having completed to Infinity and Beyond in order to progress. So, newer players won't have that yet unless they're really super powered. So that does put a damper on the tier 6 Crusaders, but I'm sure the new players who are gung-ho will be able to get there. We'll see what happens. GSR, I have a question about the Season 2 art. What will it be? The first season was the Crypt. The second season will be... Do we want to tease that? Or we wanna...
I'd be fine with that if you want to.
Okay, it's going to be clock tower themed, and we have a new little friend that'll light up when you buy the season pass for the bottom corner of the dialogue. So yeah. It's just some flair to the season dialogue. DB McGrew, thanks for the code. This is the first code I've redeemed on the Steam version after migrating from Congregate. Oh, cool. Rusty Knight, yep, an active 9th ability. We haven't thought of adding any more abilities. That would require probably rearranging the bottoms screen because you have the formation saves and then the 8 abilities and then the what's there? The tabs, right? The selectors for the tabs. So we'd have to think maybe about shrinking them, or like 2 rows if we tried to squeeze in a 9th ability. Tin Dragon, as someone who was very vocal about the Rena skin, a free skin with a tag change and a cosmetic only skin on the paid pass is perfect. Thank you. Yeah. So I did have some questions for you, my beautiful watchers. So I know there are the dungeon objectives that players aren't so happy with. Just wanted confirmation on which 3 of them we should look at changing, because we will change up to 3. And yeah, what idle counts are you guys at? just curious. And while you guys are typing that into chat, I will tell you that the weekend promo is the House of Time promo, with buffs for Jason, Baneral, the Shadow Queen, Holy Guardian, and the Priestess of Time, with a golden epic for the Priestess. Rusty Knight, ooh, a clock tower theme, nice. And then Fly by Moon, is there a Scissor Man?
There is not.
Belcac 210, Erika, considering that rubies will be more important, have you considered upping how much rubies you get from the daily quests and missions, maybe through a talent? Well, you already have the 1 boost to rubies through the tier 3 11th objective that increases the rubies you earn from completing objectives and stuff by 10%. But we can look into more, and we will be adding those tier 5 objectives to the remainder of the campaign. So that'll be another source of rubies if you guys are running low on rubies, because you have spent them all. And of course, we can always consider adding some rubies to the Season 2 rewards. Xlade, new system coming with the dungeons. What is this new system? Well, it's more power. Which is why you need to be saving your rubies and your jeweled chests if you want to have a little jeweled chest buffer, if you don't have Anna and the jeweler talent yet. So 2 votes for changing Sunday Stroll and Free For All. 1 for fun and games. The other player didn't quite care whichever objective we change. And then Dark Dwellers as the 3rd one. Yeah, Free For All and Sunday Stroll are the ones coming in as not so great formations. E17, E18, and E9 idols. Another vote for fun and games. 2Q would be E15, right? Little Q? Another E18 idols. Skig, question. Can you make dungeon points transferable to the next dungeon, or can we spend unused dungeon points on something we can keep? The plan was if you were in a dungeon objective when the season ended, they would have rolled into the next season, but since we're taking that break, those points are now going back to the Season 1 progress. So if you hadn't finished Season 1 or were just on the edge, then maybe that helps you, maybe that doesn't. But we won't be transferring extra dungeon points into something you can spend them on. We did have requests to have, like, a bonus goal if you are completing the season and you have extra points sitting around. But now that players have managed to hit area 10,000 without Bruno, apparently, there's some of you who can do it without Bruno, we'll be rebalancing the points on the dungeons, so expect a whole new look to the dungeons when they come out for Season 2. Cassius, honestly, I just like the get X areas before we start counting areas for rewards thing to go away. I mean, we can. Since I did mention we are rebalancing the points and the coins from the dungeon drops, we can look into starting them earlier, but I still don't want players to get a huge benefit from sprinting the dungeons, so that is something we will take into consideration with this rebalancing of the points. Slab McLartuge, with Bruno working as is, they are all equivalent now. Well, Bruno's being capped, so it doesn't matter. Every dungeon is an easy 10,000, or you can hit the 10,500 for the points and coins, so unless we up the idle rewards beyond area 12,000 to 15,000, it won't matter. But Sunday Stroll, Free For All, and Dark Dwellers get their vote for the awkward formations. GSR, what will you replace these 3 dungeon formations? We'll just add a few extra spots and make them similar to the other ones. Because, at least one of them only has 12 spots compared to the 14 and 15 formation spots. So, Green Samurai 23, if new system means more power, will the 10k cap be raised for the dungeon rewards? That is part of the reconsideration of the balancing of the dungeons, so we'll see if we need to get to the 10k cap raise or not. Robo Sandman, how long can we stay in our current dungeon run? Will we at some point be forced to reset? I mean, if you want to join the event or get your challenge tokens, then yes, you'll need to reset by next Tuesday or in 2 weeks for the Carnival of Sorrows, but you will not be forced to reset. Although the points will still go to Season 1 even if you wait until Season 2 to start it. Skig, will there be a way to buy Little Reaper without dungeon tokens, or can we buy him with a combination of dungeon tokens, rubies, challenge tokens, and cats? He will only ever be dungeon tokens, and we didn't want him to be too easy to buy if you didn't finish the season, because we wanted to encourage players to finish the season. But you do know how much he costs, so you can save and balance accordingly. Slab McLarge, that whole tunable difficulty thing that got removed for Season 1 of the dungeons, any chance we'll see something like that for Season 2 and beyond? We weren't planning on bringing that to Season 2, but we still do want to use it because it's pretty cool. Newbie Dooby Doo, hey Kat, how about Clumsy Bunhead Bunny Girl Satyr? But we have 2 rabbits.
Anything is possible. I don't know. I say this a lot, but I like coming up with new original things more. But we'll see.
Green Samurai 23, are the dungeon idols part of the rebalance? It is something we're taking into consideration. Ted 3959, points from the dungeons are lost, but coins we keep. Yes, you keep your dungeon coins. It's just the dungeon points that'll be reset for your season progress. Bungo Bunts, any chance at a 16 slot formation? Not yet. Just Ricky, do you guys have main goals for the tier 6 events? I'm kind of curious at least. Well, we're going to experiment with the Carnival of Sorrows. We're locking 1 tier's worth of Crusaders into each objective. So on the recruit objective, you will have Pete and Mr. Monkey forced into your formation to build around. So we'll see how that goes. I think that could be pretty cool to put a spotlight on the past 5 tiers of Crusaders. And they have the tech that they'll be available even if you have them sent on a mission. But yeah, just add more Crusaders, really, and work on the skins. It's a cool way to add skins to the game through the tier 6 events. Tin Dragon, free-for-all might be a bit tricky to just change a little since Fun and Games is a very similar formation already. Sunday Stroll could be very interesting with an extra slot anywhere. Fair enough. Xlade, with all these idols we've gotten from the dungeons in Season 1, will we be able to see something to spend them on soon? Yeah, we do hope to do new talents at some point. Fire Please, are you going to increase the required points for Season 2 because of the new Tier 6 Crusaders and more? I wasn't able to reach level 25, which really demotivated me playing the game, and I was hoping that I have at least a chance at Season 2. We're going to be rebalancing the points on the dungeons based on how we're going to implement the new season. So we have a couple of ideas up in the air to make the dungeons a little more interesting and shake up the formations a bit more. So that might affect how we end up balancing the point rewards. But we'll see if that affects the amounts per level you guys need, or if that just affects how much you get from completing a dungeon itself. Slab McLartuge, the adjustable difficulty for an appropriately higher idle reward multiplier could be a good way to keep a 10k cap for rewards and keep runs in the 6 to 8 hour range for full deep runs. Maybe? We'll keep that in mind. Fly by Moon, can we get a 35 slot formation just to see what happens? That would be like the entire screen.
Just to see what happens. The game dies. Like, that's it. You've killed it.
Yeah, no, that would be crazy. That's not something we'd get to.
I appreciate the curiosity, but no.
Stever 7002, is there a possibility of increasing the E1100 cap for those of us not quite ready for dungeons? I don't seem to be close. Kevin and I were discussing a cap increase just to keep players busy while the dungeons were under reworks. We're still revisiting it, but it would require changes to the bonus boss idols, likely. So that's what's delaying the cap increase. Hardball UK, can you tease on the saving of jewel chests? Well, you will need legendary catalysts with the new system as well as the rubies. So, depending on how many catalysts you have, you might want to have a stash of jewel chests ready to get you some catalysts. Yeah, and there may be other uses for jewel chests that you'll want to keep an eye out for. Oh. Cassius says, if the clumsy bunny doesn't appeal as a crusader, there's always the card chaser and her flying teddy route.
Yep, that's another one. Also enjoy that one. I don't know. Maybe some kind of combination of magical girls.
Aren't there like a lot in anime?
Well, yeah, but I mean, the ones I know
Right.
isn't that many.
Lexi Ree, we could replace the. We got our Mod J typing here. Combine all magical girls.
I'd have to do anime homework, and that's the worst kind of homework.
But only the PG anime girls. Maybe PG-13, but
Yeah.
oh,
Magical girl animes are usually fairly tame. I mean, I'm sure I'll be proved wrong immediately. Nobody prove me wrong. I get it.
Jay is also saying they could help because they watch a lot of magical girl anime. So if you needed ideas, you could tap them.
Oh well, hey, that's perfect. Yeah, if we do go that way, maybe I will. And I see Newbie Dooby Doo saying Kat could flip the script and do a magical boy. Very rare. There is a specific anime that's all magical boys. I remember because some classmates in college were into it. I never watched it, but I heard it was pretty good.
Ooh, sounds interesting. Right, so Lexi Rhea was saying we could replace some dungeon formations with the Ready Player 2 or the Amusement Park of Doom formations because they would like to see how far they could actually get with those formations if we aren't increasing the cap yet. Buswinga will rework some legendaries with the increase effect X when Crusader Y is in formation, like Mindy's makeover kit, for example. We have been getting to them when we've remembered. We might have a chance to take a pass over the tier 1 or lower tier Crusaders for Carnival of Sorrows. We'll see how much the season 2 to-do list takes up of our time. Xlade, since the season is now over, will you be sharing some of the statistics on how the season went? We could look into sharing some of those. I will ask Kevin what statistics he feels are appropriate to share. Just Ricky says that sounds pretty cool with forcing those Crusaders onto the objectives at least. Yeah, it should be pretty fun. And it shouldn't affect too badly, because I know you guys have formation skills out the wazoo. You guys can probably cope with having a couple bum Crusaders in the formation. GSR, I miss the old legendaries like increase group DPS by 25% for every supernatural Crusader, for example. We still do some of those, so just not as constant, but we can go back to just counting tags instead of adjacent or whatever. Rusty Knight, would it be possible to have a formation or objective that changes based on how many idols you have? Like the fewer idols you have, the more slots you can use in the formation, or the more idols you have, the fewer slots sort of thing? Or would that be too difficult? Huh. I think the real difficulty there would be figuring out the slots per idol amount. But Kevin would probably say, no, we shouldn't do that. But we will keep that suggestion in mind. It could be fun. Sarah Lee, 1533, it might seem silly, but I'm glad to see you in person.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Thank you for joining us. JS random numbers. Okay, a 34 slot formation. The chutzpah. GSR is saying, just make really expensive talents. That is also part of the plan, because you guys have so many idols. Yep, next round of talents will be pretty expensive. Oh boy, I think I need to run away before I say this to Kat. Well, it's a good thing we're in separate rooms. Decay is asking, could we get a Thriller dance from the characters after beating bosses on Halloween?
No. The animation sprites are not rigged up to do anything like that. And I'm not frame by framing anything.
Yeah, Kat, I just need to do 160 dance animations by Halloween. Yeah, it's no problem, right? Halloween 2030.
Maybe if that was my only job.
I guess you could do one Crusader, but like you said, they're not set up that way.
No, they're... Because Thriller, like, even if it was just the, like, this bit, they're not set up for front-facing. They're all side-facing, so...
Right.
It wouldn't remotely work.
Kedgear says, according to the Discord stats for the members who have self-reported their idle amounts, there are 80 players at E13 to E14, 150 players in the E14 to 15 range, 170 at the E15 to E16 range, 88 in the E16 to E17 range, 50 at the E17 to 18 range, 16 at the E19 or 18 to 19 range, and 12 at the E19 plus, which probably includes Vingummy in that number, and a couple of the other kinds of players. Interesting. So it sounds like E15 is a pretty good average. Sarah Lee, also kudos to the ones who came up with the idea of coloring sheets. It's a lovely treat every week. I absolutely love it.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying them. I think we piggybacked on Idle Champions there because we were just doing sketches, but then Idle Champions released a bevy of coloring sheets, and we're like, oh, you can do that with the sketches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is kind of cool. And then we get to show you guys' sketches on the stream, which makes it really cool because we appreciate all the entries we get of the coloring sheets.
For sure.
And speaking of, you guys are so close to getting the buff. Maybe third time's the charm. We'll see what the weekend brings coloring sheet-wise. But yeah. And then it's the spawn speed buff, right? So it moves on to a gold buff or the idle buff? I should have a note about that. Which week gives what? Tin Dragon says, back to the anime, Magical Girl is common enough that it's essentially a genre on its own.
That is true, yes.
That's true. Slavic Lartude, also I wanted to throw this out for your consideration. For Season 2, the idle bonus should be at a 10% or some balanced smaller amount bonus. That way the point and coin bonuses could compete. All dungeons suggest reward dungeon idols as baseline. This would be a better system in my opinion, since everyone realistically is only running idle bonus every time anyway, except for rare corner cases. That is also part of the rebalancing of the dungeons. Points and coins is looking at the buffs. And then Tin Dragon also said Tuxedo Mask falls into the magical boy category.
True.
And then Nem, okay, says, hey, beardless stream makes a nice change. I guess they're Idle Champions watchers, and Dylan's rocking his dad beard or whatever.
Yeah, there's lots of beardy guys doing the streams.
Although Dave's a guest on the stream today, so he's gonna have his beard.
Yeah.
Glory.
And like Gar and Mars both have beards. Eric, if he goes on, I think Dupuis has a beard right now, little puffy one.
Yeah.
So yeah, no beards here.
But there is the Evergreen Champions show. Oh, Jason Charles Miller has a beard. He's got a pretty awesome beard too.
He's got a rockin' beard.
Yeah. And Jay's just reminding us that it's a killer beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the Bardic Inspiration on Tuesdays. If you're interested in hearing songs made up about the Idle Champions cast, we've done some pretty cool ones. I still think my favorite is Strahd, but it's a toss-up between Strahd and the Brimstone Angels for Havilar and Faraday Go-Go song. But yeah, and then as I was saying, Margaret has her show with Satine on Wednesday mornings, helping you learn about new systems. And then I have noticed on Idle Champions Reddit lately, there's been some other players trying to stream the game for like basics and stuff. So I think they may or may not have beards if they're on camera. I haven't poked my nose in.
Beard optional. You don't
Beard
have to have
optional.
a beard to stream Idle Champions or Crusaders.
Sorry, tangent. Just Ricky says the carnival event barely needs any rebalancing on the Crusaders. It's more the Halloween Crusaders that could be better. Fair. Fly by Moon, I like the different legendary effects, except those ones that require other named Crusaders to be in the formation to proc, which is fair. It was part of the attempt at synergy. I don't think it works so well for the legendary items, but it would be cool to have more synergist formations. Just Ricky, I don't know if you want to look at vanilla legendary base kit rebalance again. Some are still super sad. Oh, poor base 20. We could look at reviewing them. It's just a matter of prioritizing. Hardball UK, is there any way to remove the recruit achievements for the Yogscast Crusaders, as I missed the events but got them through missions? Still on my to-do list. I know, it's been forever, but still on my to-do list. Newbie Dooby Doo. Hey Erika, can you confirm or deny the look of the new Tier 6 Crusader? Because I'd love to see it on screen next to Artaxis. Gee, I should have told Kevin not to put the art in.
Well, too bad. Next week there'll be the sketch.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't ruin it for people who don't want to do data mining. Please. Asking nicely.
Xlade, we have an E19 plus role on the Discord because Vin is so much ahead of even the other players in the E19 role that he doesn't want to make them feel bad. That's a lot of idols.
Mm-hmm.
Nem 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 nem. So what's in the middle of the sketch? An enormous pie. Ooh.
Pie. I was actually just getting to that. So you will see in just a moment.
Susan says, howdy Kat and Erika. Hey.
Howdy.
Fire please. Just nerf Mindy as rebalancing for the carnival. The players would love it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, I think that ship has kind of sailed since like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Slab McLartude, he wasn't getting it from leaks. No, we didn't have a decision on the Crusader for last week. Last week we were talking about skin ideas for sashimi, which one of them ended up being a baby white seal. Kevin was crashing Flash, putting the art into the game last night, pretty sure. So
well,
it is a
trying
leak.
to export it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the sort of cadence is teasing it on stream with the sketch a week before the event. Because we are not really fans of data miners over here. You know, it kind of ruins our plans. Like, we can't really stop you, but frown at you.
We can be mildly disappointed. We can't surprise players, yes.
Yeah.
In a public-facing way. Blasphemer 2016. Hello, long time no type. Glad you managed to join us. We're entering Tier 6 territory soon. Could you tell us about any concerns you have about the long-term effects of the ever-growing stable of Crusaders? What do you foresee for the Crusaders long-term? more Crusaders. Really?
It just keeps going and going and going.
Well, we've had some advice to make the Crusaders a little less complicated and just a little more powerful, so maybe we'll have that advice work for us. But it's cool that depending on what we release, the Crusaders may or may not get replaced with old Crusaders, like Sashimi made it back into formations while Bruno was broken. And she's 2 years old, so. Susan says, I'm finally awake before the stream. Fly by Moon, are they making a soup?
I don't know that you'd want to eat that soup. But mayhaps.
Oh, they're just using it for other purposes? They're not actually going to ingest it?
I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. And I'll show you one of the ingredients.
I mean, Babbage did an episode where he cut himself and sweated. Well, maybe that's faked, but he cut himself and sweated into the Matilda chocolate cake for the blood, sweat, and tears to make the Matilda chocolate cake.
I always took that literally as a kid.
Well, especially since the actress goes right after.
Yeah. And I mean, it's supposed to be scary for kids and all that, so I think that was their intention.
Yeah, no, that was one of the better scenes in the Matilda movie.
I love that movie.
Xlade, did you guys find an adequate number to nerf Bruno at, by the way? We have some ideas, we're just narrowing it down. Newbie Doobie Doo says, I'm both honored and insulted. Erika thinks I'd be smart enough to mine data. Well, not you specifically, but I know other players have the skills and like sharing things.
Yeah.
Cassius is asking, isn't Mildred a data miner now, technically? Ha ha ha, with her voxel skin.
No. That didn't change her profession. She likes rocks.
Beatings Galore is guessing you're drawing witch's brew.
Yeah, it's close.
Close. Yeah, no, that's giving the cauldron-y vibe right now.
Yeah, I mean, Corey is a witch doctor, so yeah. In a technical sense, that is correct.
Grega Trim says, Sashimi will be in forms even if Bruno didn't exist, because Sashimi and Hildyr gained them E300 on the dungeons, and they haven't been using Bruno. They're still hanging out with Evanescent, probably. Slab McLaritude is guessing Squiggle Stew.
Well, I suppose it's possible.
It's possible. And yes, Irulan's just adding the final touch. Lexi Ray with the Facebook message about the doom of the end of Flash. I've seen so many people say that the game is ending, even with the info about the launcher in the Q&A. Any ETA on that codename launcher? So, Season 2 and new system, Carnival of Sorrows, Emo Tier 6, request from the co-founders to get into the game, Desert Bus Crusader, then what's that? Launcher. Yes, launcher. Launcher's after that.
Yeah, it's kind of down the line.
It definitely will be before December. We know it has to happen before December, and you can already link your data to all the places. So, yeah. We will have the message in the game itself about linking your accounts off of browser versions, or off the browser versions that are going away. So tell you to link to Codename Games or Steam, and we need to get that pop-up up, and then we'll turn back on the game is going away on the Facebook one, at least. Rusty Knight. Would there ever be negative numbered Crusaders, as in the Crusaders that go in a seat before the original 20, instead of always adding to the right? Well, they would be less powerful, because the scaling for Crusaders starts at Bushwhacker, so They get more power as they go up to the right, so if they went to the left, they would go weaker. Unless you went inversely, which would confuse players all to hell, and then they're like, where's the bench start these days if we add to the left? Bungo Bunt says, I really liked how the lesser detail sketch last week basically added a lot of shading that they could then borrow to put on the full detail sketch. Please keep doing that.
Sure. It's especially when there's like little places where it's just easier to fill it in. I'm always a little tempted to do shading stuff like that, but I'm never sure if people want that or to do it themselves. So I mean, there's one vote in one direction. If anybody else feels like chiming in, I'm here to listen.
Tin Dragon, I think we implemented this Discord change after CNE left, but the Discord has leaks hidden behind a role you have to opt into to make sure people who don't want to be spoiled are not.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is handy.
Yeah. I approve.
Newbie Dooby Doo says, I'm going to toss my hat in the ring and say a sashimi sea lion skin for the event.
Noted.
Noted.
I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing already, but other suggestions are always welcome.
Could end up as another skin for another Crusader, we're not sure.
Yeah.
Green Samurai 23, are you hopeful at all about this rumored Armor Games Flash emulator? First we've heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that.
Eric's in contact with Taz, the guy behind Armor Games, but Eric hasn't mentioned anything about their plans. Maybe we can have them poke Armor again.
I would almost be surprised if, in the coming years at least, there wasn't a Flash emulator.
Yeah, there's so many Flash games. The people aren't going to let them die.
Yeah, and like there's Flash games that are legitimately really good or interesting, or, you know, like this, have been going for a really long time and have people who love them. So, you know, emulators are definitely a thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Susan, could we at least have the bench roll around so that you can keep scrolling and come back to Bushwhacker? I don't think that's a thing, but we'll keep it in mind. Beakry, when will we end the beta version of the game? If we ever do a new launcher for Steam, then probably the beta tag will come off, but otherwise, it's just, there will still be bugs. It's still a live service game. Things are gonna happen, so the beta warning's not like the end of the world to keep on the game, unless there's still players scared away by the thought of a beta game. Probably. But we haven't heard that feedback in a while. Lexi says, definitely go for the shading, Cat.
Okay.
Newbie Dooby Doo, hey Erika, any chance we can get a Crusader based on the Owl House, perhaps the King of Demons?
I have not yet seen that show, but I was very interested in it. So, who knows?
Who knows?
Who?
Oh. Wow. Didn't expect that. Cassius, extra left Crusaders would be left of Bushwhacker, but they'd also be tier 6+, so I guess it would balance. Shrug. They might have enough power, but they would still have way less levels than the slot 35 Crusader. Kedgear, Navy SEAL, Sashimi.
It's funny, but no.
Yeah. Xlade, I'm running out of questions. Just the one left. Rough ETA on Season 2 of Dungeons. When it's ready. Sorry. Sarah Lee, by the way, how are the colorings counted for the goal? Do you count all links, or do you really open them one by one and check? Asking because the feature on Imgur allows you to put plenty of pictures under one link. I do open all the links and check. I have noticed that some of the AI colored ones, when they're shared with the Imgur link, they have like the 4 or 5 versions there. And I do know that some people post to the Twitter and to the Reddit, so I exclude one of those posts because I know it's the same coloring sheet. So yeah, if you've posted twice in 2 different places, then those don't count as 2, they count as 1. But if you do use the Imgur feature of multiple images, I do count all those. Twitch Pal Player, great stream. See y'all next time. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Sarah Lee, also, yeah, shading is neat. Go for it.
All right, cool.
Newbie doo doo. The King of Diamonds is a skull cat named King.
Cool.
Zodi says, I think a slider on the bench has been suggested to make scrolling easier. So like a normal scroll bar kind of deal. And then yes to the shading on the coloring sheets as well.
All right. It's quite popular. Okay. Good to know.
But yeah, look at the time. It is 11.
It just flies by.
Yeah, I'm impressed. That was a lot of questions. So that's been our live stream for Thursday, September 17th, 2020. That's been Kat. I've been Erika. Jay has been on the CNE Games account, modding the chat and taking all your questions for us. And so that's been awesome. And thank you guys for showing up and being an awesome community. And have a great weekend, I guess.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.